Wonder Woman, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One X, and deconstructing sheds. This is Staying In.
Everyone, shut up, right? Shut up. I'm Googling something important, right? Shush. Can you... Right. I always love it when you type in like two things into Google and it gives you like a drop-down list of the most popular searches. Can you reheat rice? Can you run it? Can you freeze cheese?
True, because it rhymes.
Can you reheat chicken or can you catch shingles? I'm not interested in any of that, Google. I'm interested in can you die from tetanus?
Of course you can.
This podcast has taken a rather dark turn.
Where are we going with this?
Well, Right, in my back garden, I had a very old shed.
Great.
So I decided today, in the 27-degree heat, to get rid of shed.
Makes perfect sense.
And there were lots of nails in shed, and I think at least one point I stepped on a nail. So I'm just checking my, if
I once stepped on a shard of glass, and I survived that, so I'm sure you'll be fine.
I stepped on a pitchfork.
Did it smack you in the face?
It went through my shoe and between my toes.
Jeez.
Because we talked about my finger toes before. But can I talk about the fact, Sam, that you sent us a Snapchat kind of chronicling of this? And
yes.
I think you demolished that shed in probably one of the most cack-handed ways I've ever seen. Now, listener, you'll be thinking in your heads, okay, how would I demolish a shed? You may have done it before, I don't know. But
yeah.
Sam proceeded
Sam
started with the sides and ended with the roof. Whereas I would have started with the roof. Maybe you just wanted to get some shade in that 27-degree heat.
It was basically my reason. Right, that's how I was going to do it. But then, I thought, well, I want to take the glass out of the side first, because there was 3 glass windows.
Yeah, sure.
And Dan, you'll be like this soon. With my dog around, got to be super extra careful.
Yeah.
Don't want any glass or nails lying around, because I know with all the DIY that you do, that's your,
that's my jam.
Concern. That's your jam. So I thought I'll take the glass out first, but to take the glass out, I need to remove some of the wood paneling. And Kris, this shed, I could lift it like it was that flimsy and weak,
practically a marquee.
So as soon as I started destroying one bit of the shed, everything else just fell down, and it just became easier to do it the way I did it. And part of me wanted it to be almost there was a 10-minute window where everything was going to fall down cartoon style, the two walls the two walls on top of each other and the roof landed on top, and I thought that'd be brilliant, and I could just haul it all away and put it in a skip.
It's like that Buster Keaton film, that really old Buster Keaton film, where the house falls and it perfectly lands because the doorway over him. And apparently he put nails into the floor, so he would stand in the perfect position so the falling scenery wouldn't crush him.
So he nailed himself too?
No, he nailed 2 nails into the floor as his marker. So as long as his toes were on there and he stood up, he'd know that the building that was falling over him, the doorway would perfectly go around him. It wouldn't squash him.
I mean, just use a pen or a bright piece of paper.
Yeah, Buster. What do you know? What do you know about stunts? Just use a pen.
Every stuntman has a pack of post-its in his pocket.
Just saying stand here.
And live.
Yeah, or a Sharpie or something
live.
like that.
I'm just quickly looking something up. Just
Yeah?
give me 30 seconds.
Are you looking for the most ethical way to demolish a shed, please?
It's terrific radio, this is, Pete. It really is.
It's not like you got a computer in front of you, because it just looks like you're pontificating over your own crotch.
I am. God, it looks amazing.
It's Wednesday.
Look at this. Look at this shit. It looks fucking...
He's actually bottomless.
It looks incredible.
Well, it is So hot, Dan.
He's been doing some manscaping.
He looks like he's been fitted for a tailored suit.
Like everyone,
and the guy's down there with a tape measure.
the English scale of how much nakedness they will both put up with and allow themselves to be seen in public with rises as the mercury rises. So does the
planet.
Yes. So like as
we're lucky that Peter's actually wearing any clothes.
Well, no, he isn't. That's normal.
Well, he's wearing a t-shirt. That's not his skin.
Just a tattoo. Shark.
I tell you one thing. Talking about clothes, and this hot weather has been brilliant because, guys, I am on top of my washing at the moment. Like,
are you really?
In terms of like, usually the washing to clothes I need ratio is just enough out of balance that sometimes you like put something on a radiator or hanging something out or something that's just like barely dry. Yeah, trying to catch up with myself. But because all I've been wearing is the same pair of shorts for the last 4 days and like the odd change of t-shirt, like I've been able to get through my washing. Like my cupboard is backed up with washing. I can't get rid of it fast enough. It's brilliant.
He's wearing 4-5 outfits a day.
All right. So
now you finish looking at your penis. What have you got for us?
it's my penis.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, that's what
right.
that
I
is.
just thought that was a growth.
I thought it was like
It's
some
a
kind of
small-
creature.
It's a small growth. Well, it is a sort of creature, I guess.
It has got a mind of its own. I've just found out that I've got RAS Syndrome.
You got what?
RAS
Sam,
Syndrome.
I'm so sorry.
What is
I know.
that? Are you alright?
It's, yeah, I think I'm alright. Like,
Seriously,
like
is this something that should be on the podcast?
well, yeah, of course it should be, because
Okay.
the only way
Yeah.
that I can make others come out and accept their that they're also sufferers of RAS is to speak about it.
And we are an inclusive group of people. We are
course we are,
open.
Dan.
We would
Of course
welcome
we are.
anyone in, regardless of
Admitting it is the first step, Sam.
absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just guys, it's just at this time of year. It's particularly bad if you suffer from RAS.
I think it's important to say if someone is listening to this and they do suffer with RAS, you are not alone. Okay.
No.
Is there a
if
number
you-
we can actually put?
Yeah,
in the
you can
podcast?
contact us.
Cool.
We will be there to support you through this. Sam, maybe you'd like to kind of go into a bit more detail for those who
Yeah.
maybe aren't as familiar.
Don't know about RAS. Well, basically,
What type of RAS do you have first? Actually, just because
Standard
we don't
RAS.
want to make it like just a one, because we know there are different degrees of it, and we don't want to make assumptions.
I think I just have just sort of standard RAS. It's just bad at this time of year.
Vanilla RAS.
Vanilla RAS.
Yes, RAS.
I just have vanilla RAS. It's just because E3's on at this time of year, so it's made it a bit worse. So that's it. Because RAS is redundant acronym syndrome.
Oh, right.
So when you got E3 on,
Yeah.
and it's their website is the e3expo.com. It's just Expo's in the fucking name already, so it's Entertainment Electronic Expo.
I mean, Sam, how do you feel about the fact that RAS itself is an acronym?
I know it is, isn't it? It's redundant acronym syndrome. I've got RAS syndrome. See, it's a self-perpetuating cycle of awful. But E3 makes it even worse because, like, that's genuinely referred to as the E3 Expo.
Yeah.
And then,
Did you
because it used to be Electronic Entertainment Expo, and it was only kind of, I don't think it was even that long ago that they rebranded it to be E3, because people would refer to it as E3,
Yeah,
and that it just became that.
Did you guys
should have been E cubed.
Did you guys actually manage to catch any of E3? Did you watch any of it? Did you stay up late? Did you?
I didn't stay up late. I watched the only one that kind of came on, the best one that came on at kind of good UK time was the Xbox One, which I think came on around 10 o'clock.
Nintendo was 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, but I'd never pay attention to Nintendo.
Okay, now Nintendo's was actually the one where I finally went, all right, I'm going to get a Switch.
Yep, me too.
Because all Nintendo's was basically like, honest, look, we're making games. I promise. Like, just please, just wait there.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the games come out as FIFA. Yes, please. Rocket League. All right. Okay. Well, you've already got my money. That's fine. Skyrim. All right. Okay. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Yeah. That was the Switch stuff was incredible. And I mean, I've already played one. I was already pretty much sold anyway. But I think I was just kind of waiting for those. Like, the fact is, Peter. Well, you could all be playing Rocket League, and then I could be out in the garden playing it on my Switch, and we could all have loads of fun. So
there is absolutely so much stuff on the Switch where I was like, and in fact from Nintendo, where I was like, you guys are making games, like a lot of them, and doing really interesting deals as well. Like, so there's they announced not one but 2 Metroid games.
The Mario and Rabbids thing looks incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's XCOM for kids, but it looks so good. And yeah, if you told me that Mario, like Nintendo are the most, if Nintendo just like loosened their strings a bit, like they could make incredible games for all consoles,
right,
and everything. And so the fact that like they've even got into bed with Ubisoft and made a little XCOM baby is an incredible thing. Like the fact that Mario and Rabbids now share a universe.
I mean, there's been Mario games where there's been crossovers with other properties before. They've mostly been in Japan. So they did a big tie-in with Square Enix for it was called Itadaki Street, which was like a party game. I think it came over here. They have done bits and pieces of that, but this is the first time, I want to say, where they've really cross-collaborated with a big Western developer, and also kind of handed the reins of one of their IPs to that developer. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine what that must be like. That working relationship must be like between Ubisoft and Nintendo. Like, think about how powerful those two companies are. Ubisoft, the company that make the 2 biggest selling games in the United States this year, with For Honor and that fucking Ghost Recon game.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's
wasn't it?
Huge.
Yeah.
Like, massive company like that, and then massive heritage company like Nintendo, who are hugely protective of their brand and their identity and their games, and they're like, give Mario a gun. Like, why not?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm still not sold on the Switch, and I've not really been all that interested in anything Nintendo have done since the Wii. But I'm curious because I know Sam and Pete, you are big Nintendo fans, but Chris, I don't often hear you talk a lot about Nintendo. What are your views on Nintendo? Because you didn't. I don't think you didn't have a Wii, did you?
No, my parents do. My parents have a Wii Fit and the balance board and things. They love the Wii Fit.
The bathroom scales.
My mum is top on all of the sports on it, apart from the heading. I've never been a Nintendo fan. It's just, you know, when you're a kid, like some consoles you get access to more than others, and the only time I ever had access to a Nintendo was playing Duck Hunt when I was a kid in the 90s around at a friend's house. So I played a bit of Mario Kart at uni around a friend's house, but Nintendo's never ever really been on my radar, so I can't really form an opinion of it whatsoever. It comes from a place of ignorance, really. I know of its heritage, but I don't really have the best knowledge and experience of the console itself, really, its history.
Interestingly, with regards to kind of the Wii and Nintendo, I over the weekend I did kind of one of those like massive clear outs you do when you've got a bit of spare time. And obviously, I have a baby on the way, so I need to make a lot of space. And I do have like a big chest, which was just full of kind of old consoles and old games and stuff. And in there,
they are very small, though, Dan. Did you know that?
Pardon?
They are very small. Did you know?
Yeah, but they have a lot of shit.
Are they sleeping in the chest?
Yes. I can close it. It's fine. Yeah. And it's a stool if anyone needs it.
Just sit on, baby.
Yeah. But so in there, I had kind of a PS3, 360, a GameCube, an N64, a Dreamcast, and a Wii. And I was clearing all the stuff out. I got rid of a load of games, loads of cables and stuff. And I've got no interest, because I've got the PS4, not interested in the PS3, not really interested in the Xbox anymore. Of course I'm keeping my Dreamcast. I'll be getting rid of the GameCube and the N64. But I'm actually really tempted, and I've left it out, to plug in my Wii again and start that bad boy up. And mainly for 2 games, and it's Mario Kart and Super Mario Galaxy. So I don't think I ever finished Mario Galaxy. And so I'm very tempted to start them up again.
If you're interested in Mario Kart again, surely Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on Switch is pretty tempting. Yeah. Like that, I mean, by all accounts, it is a beautiful, wonderful game with rock solid multiplayer. And
you can play it anywhere. So in your current way of being,
right?
You know, you're up with baby in the middle of the night. You can sit in your room, like just playing Mario Kart while you're, in between dart sessions with looking after the child. Like, surely, if you're thinking about games,
sorry, Sam, it's like the DVD cover for Hard Boiled.
baby in one arm, Switch in the other. Like, surely this, if anything, in terms of gaming, that should be like getting you going now, it should be the Switch. Because it's like up in the middle of the night, soothing baby, right? Might as well play the Switch for a few hours.
I'm going to go and smash some of Peter's times on, Rainbow Road.
So some absolutely valid points there. The problem I would have is I already have them on the Wii, so I have to spend a lot of money.
Yeah, but you can't take them with you. You can't make them a portable. You can't take it portably.
But
can't take it with you.
I'm not that interested in.
Can't move it around the house.
Early hours gaming.
Oh, yeah, that might change.
Yeah, that might change, Dan.
Well, to be fair, the kind of as time progresses, all of my kind of my role on this podcast may become null and void because I'm losing all kind of chances to play games, to watch films, watch TV, all that stuff. My geek knowledge is going to dissipate rather quickly.
Honestly, Dan, when your kid starts growing up, you're suddenly going to realise that there is only one games company out there who will be making games that your child will be interested in. And suddenly you will become very, very interested with what Nintendo are doing and ways that they can entertain and bring joy and life and colour and love into your child's life. Like, honestly, like when I listen to other podcasts and like speak to other people, like all and a guy I work with as well, like his kids just absolutely love like Mario and Zelda, and like he just talks about how much his kids like love and engage with these games, and like things like the Wii U pad, like holding something like that, it's all built around like engagement and kids get involved. That's what Nintendo do.
But it's also about
better than anyone.
Your free time, Dan. Like, it's about like when you get to fit in these sessions of playing games, right? Like, it's why I desperately would love for you to pick up Star Realms and like get into that mindset, because it's like, okay, here's my time to play a little bit of game over here, rather than, because you're completely right, Dan. Like, the amount of time that you're going to have to sit down and play something absolutely titanically large is going to be somewhat disrupted.
That's all very valid points. I can't disagree with any of them. And in the years to come, I would happily purchase a Nintendo console for a child to play with.
Right.
Not necessarily for me to play with, because I'm not as interested.
Yeah, you have to get your Vita out then. That'll be your device.
Yeah, I'll do that. It's fine. But yeah, I've just never been all that fussed with it, really.
Well, I might have to buy a Switch and then get a couple of different controllers and shove it in front of you. And be
All
like,
right.
Because I mean,
But that's the thing. Like that's the wonderful thing about like the experience I've actually had with the Switch has been brilliant. Because a friend of mine brought his over, and we playing, and I was playing Zelda, and it's like, oh, this is really cool, and all the different ways to have the controller. And then it was just like we woke up in the morning, we were just having a bit of breakfast, having a cup of tea, and he just handed me one of his controllers that he'd already got. It's like, right, we'll play Snipper Clips, and like we just balanced the thing on the couch next to us. At least was watching TV and going about the house doing other stuff, and we were like having this like brilliant experience, like sharing this thing. And like we didn't need any other controllers to do it. Like everything was just there in the Switch. I think that's what Nintendo does better than anyone. That sort of like couch experience, the idea of sharing something. So I think that definitely if you ever went down this route I think you would just be sucked into this world of like sharing this with your kids. So does this mean that you're not going to get an Xbox One X?
Probably, yeah. I can't see why I would.
Good.
That's an awfully big expenditure for very little playtime.
Well, very little of any benefit.
I'm going to get his.
No, you're not.
Here's
no,
my
you're
thing.
not. Pete,
Because I also have to buy a 4K TV.
Peter. Yeah, exactly. No, Dan. If the next words out of Peter's mouth are anything like, "Oh, I really want to get one of those," then I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
That's what I sound like. I am very much on board to purchase a Nintendo Switch, and
good answer.
The proposition of the Xbox One X is
no.
So is that the One S or the One X?
X.
Which is also a massive problem I have with the console.
It's not very clear, though. They're very, very similar sounding letters.
No, I know.
There's going to be tons of grandmas at Christmas having to look at very disappointed young adults.
And a lot of game employees earning their bonuses. There's I mean the proposition that the Xbox One, specifically the Xbox One portfolio has, is actually really interesting now to me. Like
with
backwards compatibility with everything, including original Xbox games, 360. There's Forza, which I really desperately want to play. There's a couple of other bits and pieces that I would really like Quantum Break. It's getting to the point now where, I mean, I must admit, if you gave me the money for a Nintendo Switch or an Xbox One X, I would absolutely pick the Switch first. But the Xbox One portfolio is not far behind for me, and it's simply because I have a PS4, and it's like, well,
I don't see the appeal, and I really think they've made a massive misstep with it.
Do you think the PS4 Pro was a big mistake?
No, because they timed it right, and also the PS4 Pro doesn't actually do true 4K. It simulates it in a very, very clever way.
Yes.
And so what developers, people making the games for, they've got complete freedom to do what they want, and they've also got the freedom, if they want to provide a boost to their game. So things like Horizon Zero Dawn and things like Neo and games like that, a patch comes down to them, and basically they've got options in the menu, and if you want to, you can just make the graphics a little bit make the fidelity of the graphics better. So if you've got a 4K TV, things just pop a little bit better, textures a little bit smoother, and the frame rate is boosted.
What's the difference between that and an Xbox One X?
Well, the One X is built around this true 4K, this 4K 60 frames per second.
Yep.
This that's what it was marketed as.
Yep.
And then slowly and surely, Microsoft have chipped away at the requirements on the developers, because first the developers were told your games have got to run at 4K and they've got to run at 60 frames per second. Currently, the only game that does that is Forza. Every other game on the One X either runs at 4K but at 30 frames per second, or below 4K and at 60. Because the developers there's no developer out there who wants to put the time and effort into making a game run at 4K, do 60, and for such a small install base.
I think all
and it's more expensive. Like, it's crazy.
All of that, I honestly, it doesn't really faze me at all. The only thing I think is a bit of a problem with the Xbox One X is that there's this talk at the moment of potentially exclusive games for the X One X, and that to me is a bit worrying because that feels like, well, hold on a second, is this a new console? I got the same sort of like iffy feeling when Nintendo did the new 3DS. Like that to me, and like lo and behold, the new 3DS has like 3 exclusive games, and it's come to the end of its lifespan pretty much now. I honestly, if the price wasn't the price that it is, I think an Xbox One X would essentially be the Xbox to get. But I think the price is just a bit too high at the moment.
I think the One X is better placed than the PS4 Pro.
Me too.
I think if you look at what Sony are offering, I look at that and I think,
why?
If I compare where PS4 Pro sits within the Sony family and where the Xbox One X sits, Xbox One X has a place within that family, whereas PS4 seems to just be a slightly boosted version. It's kind of an unnecessary boost, whereas the Xbox One is offering something different. It is offering a significant jump.
So is a PS4 Pro,
but not to the same extent as the Xbox One X.
But Dan, it is technically, but the games aren't being made for that technical leap. So technically, it's there. But if the games aren't being made for it, and you haven't got the TV to take advantage of it, then it's just like having an Xbox.
Well, it has only just launched.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing with the Xbox One X. It's actually not for us. Like,
no,
it's actually built for people who want to watch 4K films and 4K TV and that sort of content. Because there's a 4K box plus an Xbox One. That is good value. Like, that is decent. But you have to have the 4K television in place. You have to have the decent sound system in place. And you have to come to the realization that most games might look a little bit better, but most of them will play like games that you'll play on an Xbox One. And the games that do take advantage of it will look great. They will look superb. I have no doubt that Forza will look absolutely incredible on a 4K TV. But I don't think 4K penetration into most markets is at a point where that makes sense. But if I was future-proofing, why not? Like, and again, it's for that tech savvy. It's the person who goes and reads Tech Radar. It's the person who goes and reads Digital Foundry. It's for those people.
But then the argument there comes back around to those people will already feasibly own a PC that does all this anyway.
Sure, and they're also the kind of people who will not blink at spending an extra $2,000 to get a slightly better audio system.
They've got gold HDMI cables,
right?
Speaking of wastes of money, I'm not one to waste money usually, and especially around games. Often I'm
bought
very
that Dreamcast once.
It was actually a gift, so joke's on you.
Yeah,
but your comment is related to my waste of money, because maybe it was the fact that I saw my Dreamcast again. Maybe it was the fact that I've seen kind of get my monthly updates on Shenmue 3.
How's that going?
As I said before, when we've discussed this before, I kickstarted Shenmue 3 and I basically looked at it as a pre-order because I was always going to buy it.
Yeah.
But what I decided to buy was a new copy of the original Shenmue on the
Yes,
Dreamcast.
Dan. Yes, Dan.
I knew Pete would appreciate that.
Yes.
That's not a waste of money.
Well, it is, because it cost
if
me
you already
50
owned
quid.
a copy, it is.
It cost me 50 quid. I've got Shenmue 2 already for the Dreamcast.
Beautiful, Dan.
So yeah,
good for
That's
you.
not a waste of money at all.
Oh man, are you going to play that soon?
I'm not convinced it's going to age well.
I think
what will make up for it is the knowledge that so much of that game at the time was revolutionary.
Oh yeah.
And so much of the stuff that we play now comes from that game. Stuff like weather changing, stuff like
quick time events.
All those things that we take for granted these days in your normal RPGs didn't exist before Shenmue. I'm sure they did to an extent, but that was something that put it all together and said, here is where the future is.
Certainly to that level of detail. Absolutely.
Are you drinking cucumber water? Or is that lime and mint?
It's lime. How dare you suggest that I drink cucumber water? Cucumber water is absolutely disgusting. It's like, hey, let's take a vegetable that's mostly water and then put it in water to flavour it. It's like...
Yeah, but, Peter, all fruits and vegetables are 70% water.
Human beings
probably more.
Are 70% water.
Yeah, no,
but,
exactly.
Like, there's no flavour.
So complaining that a cucumber is mostly water is...
I'm
That's
not
a misnomer
complaining.
because a lime is mostly water.
No. I'm not complaining. Like, a cucumber can be mostly water if a cucumber wants to be mostly water.
It's not mostly water. But there's no more water in a lime than there is in a cucumber. It's all about water displacement. The lime keeps all its water in little segments, where the cucumber, the water is displaced evenly throughout the baton.
So, absolutely. I'm very well aware of the baton for way of holding water. What I'm most concerned about is it's that the cucumber tastes of water and a little bit of like anonymous veg, whereas a lime tastes like delicious and citrusy and lovely.
I've got 10 facts that you didn't know about cucumber.
Oh, I bet you have, Chris. Go on.
Is there a rundown?
Could you give us the top?
I don't think it's in order of like importance.
Could you not give us the top 3 or?
Just your most interesting cucumber.
Yeah, just the most interesting.
Here we go. This is something that I think we all suffer from. Right. Do you have a problem with your bathroom mirror fogging up after your morning shower?
Yes.
Try rubbing a cucumber slice along the mirror. It will eliminate the fog and provide a soothing spa-like fragrance.
Who found that out?
I don't know. I think they've remained anonymous. Here we go. Using a pen and made a mistake. Move over, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Take the outside waxy coating of the cucumber and slowly use it to erase the pen writing. How slow are we talking? 'Cause I'm sure anything can be a razor if you've got a lot of time to spend.
But surely that'll just turn everything green.
Here we go. Here's the last one. The term cool as a cucumber is actually derived from the cucumber's ability to cool the temperature of the blood. Also, when applied topically, cucumber really does cool the blood and eases facial swelling, which is why cucumbers are so popular in facial regimens.
Well, there you go.
Now we know. I just thought it was like a cool thing that, people at spas did.
Yeah. I didn't even know it was a real thing.
What, a cucumber?
Those mythical foodstuffs.
Right. Peter's been eating erasers for years. Pete, I sent you a present the other day.
You did send me a present.
I did.
And it was a delightful pack of cards for Arkham Horror. Thank you ever so much for that. I'm borrowing those because I'm going to learn how to borrow a game. You also sent me a set of sweets to try. Yes,
a complete set. Collector's guide.
So
in the first edition.
So, for example, signed, mint in box. There are no mints in the boxes. So, for example, you sent me a wham bar,
yes.
proudly saying now made with fruit juice. So that's exciting. I'll give that a go at some point. There's a dip pop. This is from. That
was the closest I could get to a dib dab.
Dib dab, yeah. So this is a straub pop and blue RAS sour powder tongue painting. Get hip with the dip. 25p.
Get hit with the dip.
Get hit with the dip. Don't go a bed. There's a sherbet fountain. Now this, of course, is sherbet with a licorice dip. It's the classic recipe according to producers Candyland. And you've also sent me Swizzle's Rainbow Drops. Now, we've talked about these on the show.
Can I just because I wasn't on this episode when you talked about Rainbow Drops, and Lisa brought up Rainbow Drops.
Yeah. Talking of Lisa, right? She's here. I told her that this moment was going to happen. Right?
Yeah, can I just say,
has she been in the room this entire time?
Yeah, she just
waited for her moment.
Podcast,
biding her time.
Because I could not believe that none of you had never had Rainbow Drops.
Never had them.
And you were blaming it on like an age thing. I've had Rainbow Drops. I don't like them, but I've had them.
Oh well, don't say that, because I'm about to eat some.
Right, I'll put Lisa on.
They're lightly sugared puffed wheat, basically.
Okay.
He's still trying to get into the packet.
He's just gonna go.
So,
hello.
Hello.
So, Lisa, thank you ever so much for purchasing these Rainbow Drops and send them on to me.
And Lisa, can I just say, as I've just mentioned to Sam, when I listened back to the podcast, I wasn't on it. I absolutely knew what Rainbow Drops were, and I can't believe that no one else did, and no one else had them.
So
I know, they're crazy, aren't
these
they?
These are. Listen, I'm not going to take any blame for this.
Pete, now you've seen them, do you still not recognise them?
I sort of vaguely... They look like a cereal I once had.
Okay.
Maybe? I don't know. Okay, so they are free from artificial flavours, artificial colours, that's good. They're suitable for vegetarians. Big thumbs up.
Free from artificial colours? Really?
Yeah, there's no artificial colours.
Really?
Right.
Really?
Yeah, free...
Somehow,
I mean, it's got colours. They're just
if that's
colours.
natural, that's not good.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little. I'm going to do a sweetie tasting test, and we'll see how this works. So let's get the bouquet going. Hold on. I'm going to open up the pack. My hands are so sweaty. But my hand is actually okay. We're into the bouquet. They smell like crisps.
Brannigan's.
It's probably
So
probably nitrogen.
How do I?
Nitrogen
It's
in
possible.
packets, don't they?
How do I eat these, Lisa? Do I just eat them one by
Put
one?
it in your mouth
No.
and then
Just
chew.
pour some into your hand, Pete. Pour some into your hand,
Yeah,
and then...
but this is the thing. There's a technique. So, Lisa, for example,
mastication.
with Oreos,
I think you should do what Dan said. You put some into your hand and do it like a shot.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Okay, I've got a.
Do you know what wine to pair it with?
Okay, so I'll give these a go.
There's a range of facial expressions here that an audio medium doesn't quite capture.
I know.
There's
It looks like a kid I used to know used to feed horses lemons to see what faces they would pull.
I don't really know what to say.
Well, thank you ever so much, Lise. It's been great having you on the show. They taste like stale sugar puffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Sam said. It tastes like cardboard.
They're not they go through waves of being nice and then unpleasantness.
Have some more. Go on, have some more.
They're just a little bit of. They're just a little bit of nothing.
Oh god.
So you're getting into it now.
Oh, they're like the first hit is like instant sugar, and that it is very much like just airy sugar. Then it's sort of now I'm getting into this. This tastes stale. There's nothing really here. This tastes really fake. And then, as the mouth clears, oh no, there's another little peek. And then, as the mouth clears, you're just left with the taste of sugar puffs and milk. I think these would go really well.
I think you're overanalyzing it a bit because they're 30p a bag and they're 118 calories a bag, so they're a great snack.
That's true.
They're not a Michelin star.
This isn't the food and drink show.
They are delightful. Oh, hello, look.
You don't look...
Hello. There's 0.3 grams of protein in this 10-gram serving.
Oh, well, there you go, silver lining.
There you go.
Well, I'll keep sending them to you then.
Thank you. I look forward to it. I will have these with milk. I will actually try these with milk, I think.
I think if you have them with milk, you'll be Sam's hero.
All right, I'll try it.
Like his dream.
All right, I'll do it. Oh, thank you so much, Lisa. That's lovely.
I'm glad I witnessed that.
Yeah.
been doing some early morning shifts.
Have you
recently? Which is okay. It's fun, but it tends. But there's been for the second time, Kris has taken me to the cinema after I've done an early morning shift. The last time didn't go so well. It was Star Wars Rogue One, a story. What's it? Rogue One, a Star Wars story? Is that what you called it?
Yep.
Yeah, I fell asleep.
right?
Yeah,
Good work.
great. Woke up when I won't spoil it, but a man in black with a red light shows up.
All right. Yeah.
Which is the best bit in the film. So
It
luckily, I
was
woke
the security guard of the cinema.
Hey, move it on! We're closed! We've been shut for hours! Kris just left me. Just like, we look so peaceful. I was a little bit apprehensive when he was like, "Oh, we should go and watch Wonder Woman," because I knew it would be at the end of an early shift. But then I thought, no, this will be a good barometer for the film, because it's been getting some people have been laying down some pretty good vibes around it. So I thought, if I can stay awake, then I know it's good.
Yeah.
I know it's like holding my attention, and it's actually, and I did stay awake, and it might have been the Haribo and chocolate that I ate,
Yeah.
but I'd like to think it was a film, because it was pretty good, wasn't it, Kris?
It was pretty good.
It's DC's best
enjoyed-
movie.
It is DC. The recent DC Universe set of films post Christopher Nolan. It is without doubt, without a shadow, the best one. Completely.
That's not a great.
I mean, you did
compliment.
have a little bit of a kip, Sam. I did turn around at one point, and you were like,
Head back.
Literally.
I
head
think
back.
that was during the London bit, which was like,
Okay.
I think I fell asleep. I think subconsciously my brain just like got me to nap.
Well,
But I definitely like was awake during what felt like the most sort of the grandiose parts of the story.
now
Yeah.
I will say this: I desperately do not want to have this spoiled for me, because I'm actually quite interested. So,
I won't spoil it for you at all,
Okay.
Peter. So basically, it's.
What,
I don't know how much
Kris. Just let Pete ask his questions. Everyone knows what Wonder Woman is. She's a woman.
Hang
she's a
on.
woman.
Now, this is what I want to move on to, Sam. You
All right,
say
okay.
everyone knows what Wonder Woman is. Does everyone know what Wonder Woman is?
We've all got
Actually,
we've all got mothers,
it's true.
Okay, I have a mother. Okay,
and she's wonderful, Dan. And that's the message we take away from Wonder
So-
Woman.
so you're telling me Wonder Woman is my mother?
Yes.
Okay.
Your brummy mother fighting the Nazis.
She is-
Well, they
Dan,
weren't the
when-
Nazis, they were just
Dan, when you
Germans.
went to Menorca as a child in that invisible plane, did you not?
Oh yeah,
All right,
it's all coming back to me.
Okay, so Kris.
Yes, going in.
So, Kris, my questions are as follows. As somebody who knows a fair bit about comic books, I have never read a Wonder Woman comic in my life. I'm going to slap my own wrist now. There we go. Does this film make you want to go and read the comic books?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It really does.
And why?
Because it's an origin story, and we talked about this in the last episode. Dan, in particular, saying he really likes origin stories, and that's what resonated with me. I really wanted to know more about this lore, and I know, obviously, it is informed a lot by Greek mythology. You've got people such as Hippolyta, Zeus gets a name check,
Right.
Ares, all these various gods and things from this lore. But I really, really wanted to delve more into the DC mythology that is kind of merged with this. I really wanted to do that more and more, and I actually found myself coming out cinema wanting to actually pick up a Wonder Woman comic and start reading it and learn about this kind of history, which I'm ashamed to say I know very little about. And I'm actually more interested in it than the kind of Kryptonian part, say, of the character of Superman,
Right.
say, for example.
Because I would say that the Wonder Woman franchise to me has always felt a little bit, as a complete outsider, has always felt a little bit like that American TV series that they did, like a little bit cliche.
With Linda Carter.
Right.
Linda Carter,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. And
Well, I think the good thing about Wonder Woman becoming a film is that DC have actually released quite a few like handy flowcharts
right.
to and definitely both Chris and I are starting to read the new big summer smash, which is Dark Days and Dark Nights. Scott Snyder and Greg Capello coming back to DC to save the day. And so within the pages of that, there is a lot of kind of splash ads saying, if you're new to Wonder Woman, these are the things that you should be reading. And I know that DC actually did a really good flowchart, which is kind of like, right, if you're new to Wonder Woman and a mature reader, like these are the two that you need to read. Or if you're new to the DC universe, like if you're only just picking up comics now, like these are the ones that you need to read. And like, so there is quite a lot of resources out there. I think that if you want to start, then it's a good place. But I'd go and watch the film, actually. That's the one thing that's going to get you juices, because the only thing you're going to do is you're going to pick up some comic and then you're going to go, I really want to watch the film now, and it won't be around.
What I will say is, though, that the actual origin story for her, I'm not spoiling anything here, I'm not going to tell you any details, I think it's informed more so by the recent New 52 retelling of her origins, which is slightly different to the one that William Moulton Marston, who's her creator, put forward.
Okay.
So I think that they're kind of being more informed by the recent regeneration, I suppose, of her origins in the New 52.
So we'll talk about... Okay, well, just on a very basics thing then. Like, why is this a better DC movie than the other films that DC have been putting out recently?
Well, it's got colour in it.
Right.
Actually, like, joking aside, the palette of it, its mise-en-scène, has got colours. It's beautiful, and you'll see some of it in the posters and the trailers, these beautiful, lush, vibrant colours. And that's, really interestingly juxtaposed with the kind of the drab, the monochromic colours of World War One, which is basically what Zack Snyder has been using his palette to draw from for his DC canon. Right. And to some extent, actually, Christopher Nolan, really. This is a very rich and vibrant palette. It's just a treat for the eyes, really. So it already energises the whole of the DC franchise with this figure. That's one thing. Second, you've got a female-led superhero film, and I'm not saying this is the first one by any means, because you've got, for example, I don't know off the top of my head, Tank Girl, which was directed by a female director, Rachel Talalay, who did that episode of Doctor Who we talked about a few episodes ago, Heaven Sent.
G.I. Jane.
Also got Supergirl in the 70s as well, I think. Obviously, it's a super female film, so it's not novel in that sense.
But it says a lot that you've got to go that far back,
exactly,
for the notable films.
I mean, lest we forget, Halle Berry's Catwoman film, which everyone has forgotten.
Do you know I know somebody who wrote the script for the video game version of that?
My God,
he's very proud of that. He's very, very, very proud of that game.
He still told you that,
he did. He was like, this is one of my greatest achievements.
Okay, if we're name dropping then, I was in a film as an extra years ago with one of the actors in Wonder Woman. The guy who plays Charlie. Anyway, but it was a really crap film. I've never watched it, but on DVD, it's an awful, awful film. Apparently, the reviews were terrible. But this one wasn't. But one thing it does as well is that it sounds like it's setting up for some of the tropes for a superhero film, and it does sometimes fall into those traps. But there are some things it does do which are very different in terms of how it approaches character. Like, the last time I felt this kind of enjoyment watching a female-led action film where there's this kind of really lovely equality between genders in terms of the screen time and their ability to hold themselves in the scene was Mad Max Fury Road, which was another film that Sam and I saw at the cinema, where you've got Furiosa and Mad Max, and it's not the case of, the male hero drags the female by the hand through all this gunfire and stuff, or they don't just subvert those roles. Ostensibly here you've got two people back to back, literally symbiotically helping each other, and it's just fantastic to watch. And the fight scenes are incredible. The Amazonians are so badass. Honestly, it's incredible in Themyscira. Brilliant. Brilliant. There are some lapses, as I said before, into the tropes of comic book films, which I suppose it has to do, really, to satisfy some people, like studio executives.
Does it feel like it's leading into the DC universe, like Batman vs Superman was?
kind of. It's what's really quite annoying is that, like, from articles I'm reading afterwards, there was this sense that the studios weren't expecting it to be a success. Like with other films like the Superman, Batman, the actors were given these long picture deals. Gal Gadot was given 3 picture deals. Batman vs Superman, this film, and the new Justice League film, and the director was basically given a 1 picture deal. So literally just meted out. They weren't expecting it to do well, and it's done phenomenally. It was done better than the opening gross for Iron Man, I think The Amazing Spider-Man, and Thor.
I'm really happy to hear that, because I was quite concerned that if it didn't do really well, then kind of you can imagine kind of the people at the top of the tower thinking, oh, people just aren't interested in female-led superhero films, so we can't do those. Even though that's not the case, I was concerned that they were going to drop the ball. And I've really disliked the last 2 DC films, Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman. I've found nothing redeeming in either of them. So if they drop the ball on this one again, I feel like the blame would have been put, rather than the film being a failure, the blame would have been put on the fact that it's a female-led superhero film, and that would have probably encouraged them not to do it again. So it's great that it's clearly done very well, both critically and commercially. It'll encourage them to do more. Obviously, we've got Captain Marvel on the horizon on the Marvel side, and just kind of demonstrating that audiences don't care who's leading a film. They care about the good story and the good characters.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, because as a feminist, it really made me happy. But this is feminism with a small f. It's not saying it's not trying to be in your face kind of feminism. There's this lovely, it's beautifully kind of constructed this idea that Wonder Woman is the one figure that steps into no man's land. This is a no man's land, and she steps foot in it and just turns the tide. And it's just these lovely these delicious kind of metaphors, and it's perfectly brilliantly timed, putting her in this situation of World War One, because obviously they couldn't put it in World War Two because it just smacks too much of Captain America, the first Captain America film. And this isn't her origin, World War One, but it's such a brilliant place to put her in at that time in terms of gender politics and world politics, and also the fact that it's a war. And I was listening to a podcast, I think Mark Bernardin talks about the fact that in the DC universe, if there's an asteroid heading through Earth, you call Superman. If there's a crime that needs solving, you call Batman. If there's a war that needs ending, you call Wonder Woman. And she totally is that. Gal Gadot is totally that. She is a warrior. She's the toughest of them all. And Gal Gadot really holds her own, along with all the other Amazonians in this film. It's a good film. It's a solid film, I would say.
That was Staying In with me, Daniel Frost, Kris Darby, Sam Turner and Peter Willington. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Mixcloud, Acast, Spreaker, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever else you get your podcasts. We are absolutely everywhere. And if you'd like to leave us a review, we'd be really grateful. Just head over to iTunes or wherever it is, leave us a lovely 5-star review. It means the world to us. It's the best way for other people to find out exactly what we're doing here at Staying In. You can also visit stayingin.podbean.com. Lots more information about us, about the podcast, see our old episodes. Make sure you can check on there for any links to everything we've discussed, everything covered in this episode. Or finally, you can contact us on Twitter. All of us are there. You can contact us, the podcast, at stayinginpod. So that's all the information you need. Go ahead, go about your day. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.